Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving into some bold predictions about the future of EVs.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, specifically what's powering them.
Batteries.
Batteries, exactly. We're going to be breaking down a recent video by the Electric Viking.
Oh, yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, he's a pretty popular EV commentator.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're going to see if his claims about semi-solid state
Wow.
and solid-state batteries hitting the market soon, if those actually hold water.
Yeah, he's really stirred things up this time with
Yes.
his reports on MG's upcoming EVs.
Right?
He says they're planning to release one with a semi-solid state battery like as early as 2025,
Oh, wow.
followed by a fully solid state one in 2026.
Those timelines are insanely aggressive.
I know.
I mean, Toyota's been hinting at solid-state batteries for
Yeah.
what feels like forever.
Yeah, it feels like forever.
And we're still waiting. It's
Seems to
taking
be
so
now.
long.
So color me skeptical, but
Yeah.
if MG pulls this off,
Right.
that could be huge for the whole EV market.
It would be monumental. Huge shakeup.
It would.
Yeah, and what makes this even more interesting is how the Electric Viking emphasizes MG aiming for affordability with these advanced batteries.
Yeah.
He suggests we could see a 30% increase in range without a major price bump.
30%. That's huge.
Yeah, that's the part that really caught my attention.
Yeah.
Longer range without breaking the bank.
That's the dream.
Right.
It is the dream.
But I mean, what does that kind of jump mean for the current EV landscape? Could this push other manufacturers to speed up their battery tech development?
Absolutely.
Right.
If MG delivers on these promises, it puts immense pressure on competitors like Tesla, BYD, Volkswagen
Right?
to keep pace.
Yeah.
A 30% range increase would be a game changer, especially if it comes at a competitive price point.
Right.
Imagine EVs that can go over 500 miles on a single charge.
Wow.
Range anxiety could become a thing of the past.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get too carried away with all this futuristic tech,
Right.
let's take a step back. Could you explain the difference between semi-solid state and solid-state batteries for those of us who aren't, battery experts?
Sure. So it all comes down to the electrolyte,
Okay.
the material that allows ions to flow between the battery's positive and negative electrodes.
Mm-hmm.
In traditional lithium-ion batteries, like the ones in most EVs today, the electrolyte is liquid. In semi-solid state batteries, it's more like a gel, and in solid state batteries, it's completely solid.
So basically, the more solid the electrolyte, the more energy you can pack in.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that means higher energy density, which translates to more range for EVs.
Makes sense.
Semi-solid state batteries can reach up to 300 watt-hours per kilogram,
Okay.
while solid state batteries have the potential to go way beyond that, exceeding 1,000 watt-hours per kilogram.
Whoa, those are some serious numbers.
Yeah.
No wonder the Electric Viking was raving about the potential for EVs like the MG Cyberster to achieve ranges of up to 700 kilometers.
Yeah.
That's almost double the range of many EVs on the market today.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It is.
And the Electric Viking also highlighted some interesting points about the battery currently used in the MG Cyberster,
Uh-huh.
the IML6.
Yes.
It apparently has an energy density on par with Tesla's 4680 cells, which are considered cutting edge in the industry.
They are.
So even without the new semi-solid state tech, the Cyberster is already pretty impressive.
It is.
What makes the Tesla 4680 cells so special anyway?
Well, the 4680 cells are larger and cylindrical, which Tesla claims allows for more efficient cooling
Anyway,
and a simpler manufacturing process.
gotcha.
This results in higher energy density and lower cost.
Right.
The fact that MG's IML6 is comparable to Tesla's design speaks to their commitment to pushing the boundaries of battery technology.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
But it sounds like MG isn't the only one pushing the envelope here.
No.
The Electric Viking mentioned other manufacturers like BYD, Xpeng, and NIO making waves with their battery tech, right?
He did. And it's a crucial point. While MG's announcement is eye-catching, we need to remember that the entire EV industry is in a race to develop and deploy the next generation of batteries.
Yeah, extra.
For example, BYD has claimed their new batteries can charge in just 12 minutes,
What?
while Xpeng boasts 900 kilowatt charging speeds.
Hold on, 12 minutes.
Yeah.
That's barely enough time to grab a coffee.
I know.
And 900 kilowatts, that's just mind-blowing.
I know, it's incredible.
It seems like charging times might not be such a big deal in the future.
That's exactly where this is all heading. It's not just about energy density and range. It's also about charging speed.
Right.
These advancements paint a picture of a future where EVs are not only lighter and more efficient, but also incredibly fast to charge,
Wow.
possibly even surpassing the time it takes to refuel a gasoline car.
It's amazing to think how far we've come in such a short amount of time. From the first clunky EVs to the sleek, powerful machines we see today, the progress has been remarkable. And now with these next-generation batteries on the horizon, it feels like we're on the verge of a whole new era for electric transportation.
Absolutely.
It's very exciting.
But as with any emerging technology, there are challenges to overcome.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In part 2, we'll dive into the potential roadblocks that could derail this battery revolution.
Oh no.
Stay tuned.
Can't wait. So we've established that the future of EV batteries looks pretty exciting,
Yeah.
at least according to the Electric Viking.
Uh-huh.
But even he acknowledges there are some potential hurdles along the way.
Oh, definitely. The Electric Viking tends to be optimistic about the future of EVs,
Right.
but even he admits that there are some significant challenges to overcome before these next-generation batteries become mainstream.
Right.
One of the biggest is scalability.
Oh, wait.
It's one thing to develop a breakthrough battery technology in a lab, but it's a whole different ballgame to manufacture it at a massive scale at a cost that makes it viable for everyday consumers.
Yeah, that makes sense. If these new batteries are prohibitively expensive, it won't matter how revolutionary they are.
Exactly. Affordability is key, and that's where economies of scale come in.
Mm-hmm.
As production volumes increase, the cost per unit tends to go down.
Right.
But to reach those economies of scale, companies need to make substantial upfront investments.
Yeah.
And that can be a risky proposition, especially with a technology that's still relatively unproven.
Sounds like a bit of a chicken and egg problem.
Yeah,
Companies need to invest heavily to ramp up production,
right.
but they might be hesitant to do so until there's a clear demand for these new batteries.
That's the dilemma. And this is where government policies and incentives can play a crucial role.
Okay.
By supporting research and development,
Mm-hmm.
offering tax breaks for EV purchases, and investing in charging infrastructure, governments can create a more favorable environment for the adoption of new battery technologies.
Right.
And encourage companies to take those risks.
Okay, so scalability and affordability are two major hurdles. What other potential roadblocks did the Electric Viking mention?
He touched on safety, which is a critical consideration with any new battery technology.
Right.
As we move toward higher energy density batteries, ensuring safety becomes even more paramount.
Yeah.
Remember those stories about lithium-ion batteries catching fire?
Oh, yeah.
Well, if these new batteries are packing even more energy,
Yeah.
there's naturally a concern that the risks could be amplified.
That's a scary thought. No one wants to be driving around in a potential fire hazard.
Of course not. But it's important to remember that researchers and engineers are acutely aware of these concerns,
Oh.
and they're working diligently to develop new safety mechanisms and rigorous testing protocols to mitigate those risks.
That's reassuring to know.
Yeah.
But even with the best safety measures in place, accidents can still happen, right?
Absolutely. No technology is foolproof.
Right.
But here's the thing. When we talk about the risks of batteries, we need to put them in perspective.
Right.
We have to compare them to the risks associated with our continued reliance on fossil fuels, which contribute to climate change, air pollution, and a whole host of other environmental and health problems.
That's a really important point.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the bigger picture, the risks associated with batteries seem much less significant compared to the risks of doing nothing and sticking with fossil fuels.
Precisely. And that's a message that the Electric Viking often emphasizes.
Okay.
He argues that while there are valid concerns about battery technology, we can't let those concerns paralyze us. We need to embrace innovation and push forward with the development of cleaner, more sustainable energy solutions.
I totally agree. But even if we overcome the technological and economic hurdles, don't we also need to consider the infrastructure required to support widespread EV adoption?
That's another point that the Electric Viking raises in his video. He argues that the battery revolution will be meaningless if we don't have the infrastructure in place to support it.
Right.
And he's right. We're talking about a massive shift in how we power our vehicles.
Yeah. And that requires a fundamental rethink of our energy infrastructure.
So what does that look like? What kind of infrastructure do we need?
Well, for starters, we need a vast network of charging stations.
Right.
And I'm not just talking about the slow chargers you see in parking garages today.
Okay.
We need fast chargers, preferably ultra-fast chargers that can replenish an EV battery in a matter of minutes.
Right.
Ideally in the time it takes to grab a coffee or use the restroom.
That would certainly make life easier for EV owners. But wouldn't that put a huge strain on the electrical grid? Can our current grid handle the increased load from millions of EVs charging simultaneously?
That's a major concern, and it's something that utilities and grid operators are grappling with.
Right.
They're investing heavily in grid modernization projects,
Oh.
exploring smart charging technologies that can distribute the load more efficiently,
Okay.
and encouraging EV owners to charge their vehicles during off-peak hours.
It sounds like it's going to require a lot of coordination and cooperation between various stakeholders, governments, utilities, automakers, and consumers. Absolutely. It's a complex ecosystem, and everyone needs to play their part to ensure a smooth and successful transition to an electric future.
Yeah.
And the Electric Viking stresses that point. He argues that this isn't just about technology, it's about societal change.
Right.
We need to adapt our behaviors, our expectations, and our infrastructure to accommodate this new paradigm.
So we've covered the potential benefits of next-generation batteries and the challenges that stand in their way. But what does all this mean for the average person? How might our everyday lives change if these predictions come true?
Well, imagine a world where you no longer have to worry about range anxiety.
Okay.
You could hop in your EV and drive across the country without meticulously planning your route around charging stations. Road trips would become a breeze.
That sounds amazing.
Mm.
And imagine the convenience. No more stopping at gas stations, no more dealing with the smell of gasoline, and no more fluctuating fuel prices.
Yeah.
You could simply plug in your EV at home overnight and wake up to a full charge ready to go.
Exactly. It could fundamentally change our relationship with cars and transportation. Yeah.
And it's not just about convenience. Think about the environmental benefits.
Uh-huh.
If we can transition to electric vehicles powered by clean energy, we can significantly reduce our reliance on fossil fuels and mitigate the impacts of climate change. That's a win for everyone.
Okay, so we've talked about the excitement, the challenges, and the potential impact on our lives. But what about the financial side of things?
Wow.
Where's the smart money going in this battery revolution? And what are the potential risks and rewards for investors looking to capitalize on this trend? We'll explore that in part 3. Okay, so we talked about the tech, the potential impact, even the challenges ahead. But let's face it, anytime there's a major technological shift like this, there's a huge financial opportunity. The Electric Viking certainly hinted at that.
Yep.
So where's the smart money going this battery revolution?
Well, the battery industry is a complex landscape. You've got the mining companies extracting raw materials, the manufacturers assembling the cells, the automakers integrating them into vehicles, and then you've got the research labs and startups pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Yeah, so many moving parts.
There are investment opportunities at every level.
That's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
So where are we seeing the biggest opportunities, at least according to the Electric Viking?
He didn't get into specific companies,
Okay.
but he did highlight the areas attracting the most attention.
So,
Established players like CATL in China,
right.
LG Energy Solution in Korea, Panasonic in Japan are all making big moves.
Okay.
They've been in the battery game for a while, have massive manufacturing capacity,
Right.
and are well positioned to meet the growing demand.
So those are the safe bets, the giants of the industry.
They're certainly strong contenders, but they're also facing intense competition from up-and-comers.
Oh, really?
The Electric Vikings specifically mentioned the buzz around solid-state battery startups, like QuantumScape,
Oh, yeah.
Solid Power,
Yeah.
and SCS.
Okay.
They're attracting serious investment as they race to commercialize this potentially game-changing technology.
Right. High risk, high reward.
Yeah.
But what about the ethical side of things? We touched on the environmental impact of mining. Did the Electric Viking mention any companies focusing on more sustainable battery production?
He didn't name names,
Okay.
but he did emphasize that investors are increasingly looking at a company's commitment to environmental, social, and governance principles.
Right. ESG.
ESG, exactly. In the battery industry, that translates to responsible sourcing of materials,
Right.
minimizing waste,
Right.
and developing robust recycling programs.
So it's not just about making a buck.
Right.
It's about making a responsible buck.
Exactly. And many believe that companies prioritizing sustainability will be the ones best positioned for long-term success in this industry. It's becoming a key factor in investment decisions.
Okay, this is all fascinating, but it's a lot for an average person like me to wrap my head around. If I wanted to dip my toes into investing in this battery revolution, where would I even begin?
Well, the Electric Viking didn't offer financial advice.
Of course.
And neither can we.
Right.
But he did touch on some general concepts.
Uh-huh.
For starters, do your research. There are tons of resources available to learn about the industry and the key players. You could consider investing in exchange-traded funds, ETFs, that focus on the battery industry.
Okay.
That way you get diversified exposure to a basket of companies rather than putting all your eggs in one basket.
Makes sense. Spread the risk.
Right. And remember, any investment carries risk. Never invest more than you can afford to lose and consult with a financial advisor if you're unsure about anything.
Solid advice.
Always good to be cautious.
So the takeaway here is that the battery revolution isn't just about cool new cars. It's a seismic shift in the global economy, creating opportunities at every level.
Exactly. And the Electric Viking always says it's an exciting time to be following this space, both from a technological and a financial perspective.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the Electric Viking's battery predictions. We covered a lot of ground from the nuts and bolts of these new batteries to their potential to reshape the world, and even how you might be able to invest in this electrifying future.
I think the Electric Viking would be happy with our thorough analysis.
I hope so.
He always encourages his viewers to think critically and engage in these important discussions.
And speaking of engaging, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What were your biggest takeaways from this episode? Are you as excited about the future of EV batteries as the Electric Viking is? Let us know in the comments below.
And if you found this deep dive insightful, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We'll be back with more deep dives into fascinating topics soon. Until then, keep those electrons flowing.